full list.
But there's some teamer goodness here. A card that I'm excited to see. There's Flame of Anor from the Lord of the Rings set, right? 1 blue, red. If you control a wizard, you get to do both of the effects.
Is that the only Lord of the Rings card in the set? In the cube? I didn't see any others.
It might be. And honestly, let's it's a powerful set. The cube doesn't need to be going overboard. There's also a Kranko mob boss on this list and a Chatterfang, 2 really powerful creature type matters creatures. Like Kranko making X goblins equal to the number of goblins you control. That's going to be equal to the number of creatures you control because this is Changeling cube.
That's right. That's right. And so one of the things that we brought up about this cube was Risen Reef. That's going to be at the hand of one of our undefeated players that we've seen in this round. Facing off against Dana, who I think we've seen go 0-2 so far on the day. So,
well, it looks like we're being told that the Dana match we will hopefully get to, but we're going to start with, it's CubeCon is about fun, but people are here to win.
That's right.
Okay, so we are going to start with our 2-0 players from the pod to see who we're going to crown a victor here from the Changeling cube.
Undefeated on both ends here, 2-0, 2-0.
So
and our game's ready. We're going to hop right into the match. This is game 1, and we're seeing Christopher facing off against Derek. Derek, we just saw in our previous matchup. Again, 2 undefeated players in this Changeling cube. All creatures have all creature types in all zones. Is the house rule that we're playing with in this cube.
That's true. That is a house rule, yeah. Let's see if I can pull up Christopher's list here to see what he's working with. Derek, I believe we saw previously, he's on a nice Rakdos deck, coming in with a bunch of 2-for-1 creatures. He has that Creature Tutor as a single black spell. He's got the Munitions Expert. I believe that is Derek, if I'm remembering correctly. Looking at Christopher Walter, another white drafter here. Oh, so we have seen Christopher here on Orzhov already, right? The Orzhov deck could.
That's right.
Looking over at Derek's list,
we're seeing some elves in there. I see the Land of War elves. I see the Visionary.
But again, where is this Sacred Foundry coming from? That's why I'm not sure I'm trusting these lists. I'm just gonna be present. I'm gonna be in the moment with you, Rondez, and our faithful viewers, hanging out with us at twitch.tv/CubeCon Live. Tell your friends, tell your enemies.
Tweet the stream.
We're gonna be here for 4 days. We've got, we're gonna be finishing out this round, and then we have Hayu and Ryan Overturf as our other commentary duo. Excited for them to hop in the booth and take you out for the rest of the coverage here, the content here for Prequel Day. There's an Elvish Warcaller. One of the Singleton breaks in the cube, 1 on a green, 2/2. Whenever cast another elf, get a 1/1. Only happens once per turn. The dreaded text.
No fun.
No fun. No fun allowed.
Top of the turn here.
Forest. Oh, Derek. I'm sorry. Wasn't Derek the one? Yes, I know. Derek was our friend earlier. He was cheating in the big fatty boom booms. He was getting the Koglan.
That's right.
He was getting the Tristani Summoner. And
with almost no green in the deck.
He's got some green mana now, but
didn't need it earlier.
It's not always the case.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
Not always the case.
So really, really interesting mana base and some powerful effects to cheat in creatures without paying for them here from Derek. Seeing a 2-drop come into play now.
Okay. Yep, there's the Sliver. So that's the red-white 1/1. All slivers have flying and haste.
Oh, and this thing is so devastating.
Well,
all
and look
creatures
at this.
coming in with it.
It's going to trigger the Warcaller, so that's getting a 1/1 that also now has flying and haste. So
wow, the pressure is on.
Send in the clowns. You've pegged this earlier, Rondez, and it's really borne out to be true. Flying seems to be the name of the game. I don't think I've seen the keyword reach on a single card today.
I don't think anything in this cube has reach. I'd have to do another review, but in my research coming into this matchup, I don't think there's any. It's just all flying. And there's not a lot of removal, so flyers are quite devastating here, especially when you can give them haste, especially when, you can just make them come in off a cast trigger. Mm-hmm. Really, really powerful.
Looks like Christopher's stuck on white mana. We do know he's on Orzhov. We see a Crypt Breaker. Holds the front of his hand.
Oh, I just don't know if his deck is like going to be able to keep up with this pressure from this sliver. He's got to draw some removal. Worthy Knight is big. This is something that could maybe get him going on the ground here, but
But he's already on the back foot. I mean, it's such a tough spot to be in when you're on the back foot and you have to turn your creature sideways.
And you're playing with one of your two colors.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
the deck is quite literally stacked against you right now.
Right.
Really tough
your
spot
deck
to be
and
in.
Derek's deck
Yeah.
are stacked against you for sure.
Not a fun spot to be in. 3 land. Derek will he have the 4th land drop here? Waiting to see what's going to come out next. Whatever Derek casts is going to bring a goblin into play. A flying hasty goblin. So we're tapping 2.
Devoted Druid.
Devoted Druid comes
Does
in.
have haste, so mana neutral if he wants it to be. We'll trigger the War Caller. Or is it War? It might be War Leader.
Elvish War Leader is
I
right.
believe, thank you, sorry. Slap on the wrist number 5.
Elves are always ready for war. It gets kind of...
They're calling war, they're leading war, they're hunting.
Like, settle down.
Like, just relax.
Take it easy. Where's the Elvish Napper?
Amen.
The restful elf.
Doesn't quite have as nice a ring to it as you might think.
No, it doesn't.
We got a removal spell here. Well, removal adjacent. Swift configuration, reconfiguration. Single white enchantment, flash. Enchanted permanent is a vehicle, and it loses all abilities and has a crew cost of 5. So...
Oh, we're doing the tap. So we did the Devoted Druid tap because it has haste.
Wait, he's playing it on his own creature. He's turning his own creature into a 5/5. Sure, he's going to have to crew it. Is that what you want? Wait, what is happening here?
Christopher just played this spell at instant speed onto the Devoted Druid.
With what mana?
He had 2 up. Oh. We played Worthy Knight last turn, no?
Yeah, so he's tapped out. I think that's...
Okay,
I think that was Derek's spell.
I think
and
you're
he's
right.
able to like make a bunch of... Oh, because he can make a bunch of mana and pump his whole team. Because
Right.
once Devoted Druid is no longer an 0/2, once it's a 5/5, it can have...
Oh, the green.
It can have... You can tap it 4 times.
That's right.
That's pretty sick. A little
Tons of
dark-
green mana.
dark
Swift
ritual
end of that
action.
game. Slamming the door shut. Derek is going to go up 1-0 in what is our last match for this round. Tap land opening things up. Going to pass to Christopher Walter. Will you have a turn 2 play?
Oh, and chat is helping me out here in my ignorance. They're letting me know it's just infinite mana because it's not a creature. You can put as many -1/-1 counters on a vehicle as you want. It's a combo, as they say, as the kids say.
Oh, we love combos. Worthy Knight on turn 2.
That's what you like to see. Worthy Knight looking a lot better when you're not facing down 4 flyers.
Yeah, I think something that we've also... Oh,
It's your
seeing
card.
Tepic Huntmaster's coming in. So, creatures going to come in. They're going to be able to get haste if it taps for it. Also, of course, discounted by 1.
And they're all
Just another
cheaper
mana
too,
dork.
right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Something that we've seen, though... correct me if I'm wrong here. I think in each match, whoever has gotten one of these cards like the Elvish War Leader or the Worthy Knight down, something that triggers to give you a token on cast, they've taken the game each time,
That's
right?
a really good point.
Whoever
And
gets it down first has had a pretty huge advantage the opponent can't catch up to.
that's perhaps...
Oh,
Uh-oh.
oh no. They don't see each other, do they? No, because it's on cast, right?
It's on cast, so we're
Okay.
just getting 1. But
Yeah.
they see each other now. They're right
Yeah.
next to each other.
Oh, man. Okay, Christopher.
All right. Are we worthy? We'll have to find out. We'll have to find out if we are.
Drafting both of the Worthy Knights in this pool.
What I was
is
gonna
insane.
say was that before we found out that Christopher had both, what I was gonna say was that that's perhaps why Singleton has been broken for Worthy Knight, for the Elvish War Leader. That you may want to spread the love around, right?
Right.
If these are such game warping cards in this cube specifically, let's get a couple of them out there in the open. But sometimes that means Christopher's going to end up with both.
Yeah, gave it to one player to have both and starting the game with both in hand, nuts. So we're going to need to see some removal come out from Derek here soon, or things could get out of hand, because it's really just mostly creatures. I mean, in most of the decks here, it's mostly creatures. But you know, getting so many tokens into play each turn is quite scary when we have cards like Dark Salvation in the deck, Crypt Breaker, of course, just endless card draw.
Yeah. Yeah. Preeminent Captain going to hit the board here for Derek. And if you are just tuning in with us, Derek's got a couple of ways to cheat in creatures like this. He's got Preeminent Captain. He has an Incandescent Soul Stoke as well. So he has the ability to cheat in some larger threats, and we know he's got a Kogla. We know he has a Tristani Summoner. Will he be able to pop that off this game? We don't know. And we know it's not going to be happening with Preeminent Captain because that just got by Fairy Fencing.
So counter spell coming into, or excuse me, removal spell coming into play there. Very, very timely to stop the stop cards from being cheated in, as you said, which has been a common theme for Derek Blemberg.
Heritage Druid, the play there for Derek. Single green, 1/1. Tap 3 untapped elves. Add triple green to your mana pool. It's a spicy one in this cube. It's interesting. There's a little bit of a dissonance, I feel like, in terms of, and I feel like Derek has struck that balance quite nicely of wanting to affect the board early and often, but also have that oomph to push over the top. Something like Heritage Druid being able to cheat out the larger threats. Preeminent Captain, Soul Stoke, etc.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's absolutely right. So the Wayward Servant coming in here is just kind of devastating, right? I mean, every time a creature comes in, it's gain 3, lose 3. Your opponent loses 3.
It's only unfortunate. I mean, I'm using the word unfortunate isn't quite right, but it's only slightly unfortunate that this turn it doesn't see the 1/1s come in because it is a cast trigger.
Right.
But now any creature is going to drain 3 for Christopher Walter.
Yeah.
Thanks to the Worthy Knights making 2 1/1s.
Derek's got to have something explosive this turn. Otherwise, just another couple creatures from Christopher, and I mean, it's a wrap.
Yeah. It's a real, like, the pendulum really does swing so wildly in this cube, in these first, turns 3 through 6. I feel I'm on a roller coaster of like, oh, Derek's going to win. Oh, well, maybe Christopher's going to win now.
Yeah.
Oh, Derek's back to it. Because I'm sitting here thinking, what could Derek possibly do to get out of this? But I know he's got the tools in his deck to do it.
Right.
Does he have them in his hand? We'll find out in just a second.
So
Arid Mesa
into
Pass
play.
doesn't seem like the path to victory here.
And not in these colors. I don't know what could happen at instant speed.
I believe he's got a Spell Queller.
Okay.
Right? I don't know if it's in his hand. I don't see it. But we do know that is available to him.
Problem with that, though, is Worthy Knight is still a cast trigger.
Oh.
So the spell, even though it doesn't resolve, we're still getting the Wayward Servant and both Worthy Knights to trigger.
The spell will be quelled. The life total, not so much.
Just tapping 1 white here. What are we doing?
Oh, another one of our... We haven't seen these, actually. Again, chatting with Tim about this. Hot a Free Blade in hand, but we're going to lead off on Collective Brutality. Looks like only one mode being chosen. I haven't seen any cards being discarded for Christopher Walter, so I'm assuming...
Right. You have to do that as you cast.
We're doing... I guess I'm not sure. Neither of these creatures feel threatening, so I would imagine you would want to just look upstairs and see if there's any funny business.
Yeah,
but I would also
sorcery.
I would also imagine any funny business would have been cast or can be cast in response. So it's often the problem with Collective Brutality later in the game.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like you said, nothing really on the battlefield is too threatening, even with the amount of mana that he's got. I mean, maybe Otepic Huntmaster just to stop something from getting haste, but it doesn't really matter. Like you don't even have to attack Christopher. And you got blockers.
And there is Spell Queller.
Yeah, Spell Queller comes in.
Going to take Collective Brutality.
That's fine. That's fine for Christopher. It's
Yeah.
not one of the creatures. You just want to keep gumming up the board, keep getting those ETB triggers,
Well,
and cast triggers.
you especially are happy to get a spell and not a creature because remember, if he were able to deal with Spell Queller and then recast, because it is a cast, you cast it, you don't have to pay the mana for it. So
Right.
then that would trigger the Worthy Knights again.
Yeah.
And trigger the Wayward Servant again.
And it's still worth the mana because of how much you've got going on here.
But none of that is a problem here. And yeah, the other card I believe we're going to see cast here, or at least it is at the front of his hand, is Hot of Freeblade. Single white 0/1. When it or another ally enters the battlefield under your control, you may put a counter on Hot of Freeblade. So just a 1-mana 1/2 that grows. Again, won't see the 1/1s that the Worthy Knights make this time, but they will. But it will eventually. There it is. There's Hot of Freeblade.
So, of course, trigger for the cast. Worthy Knights come in first.
Wayward.
Then trigger for the Wayward Servant.
Drain, drain, drain.
Yes, indeed.
And, we probably don't send into the red zone this turn, but honestly, we could.
You could, but
Like, you get to eat.
there's no board wipes, so there's not even really a reason to risk it. Just cast another spell, right?
Right, I guess that's true. Well, I was just thinking, is Derek just dead? If Derek is actually at 5 right now
3 blockers.
with
We got, how many zombies is that?
Christopher.
Humans. 2 humans.
So this is 6 coming through. It's not lethal. Looks like Christopher wants to assume blocks first and then decide what he's going to do. If he wants to attack all, he is going to attack all. Made some assumptive blocks. A little bit of a double fist pump there from Christopher. And yeah, Derek can eat a Worthy Knight, he can eat a Wayward Servant, and then chump chump or chump trade.
Just looking at that open, we got open red and green. I don't know that we've seen... What red removal have we seen from Derek? Is there magma spray in there?
I feel like our friend Keldon from earlier with the Izzet deck snapped it all up.
You might be right.
As far as I can tell, Derek's hand is Forest and Tristani Summoner,
Oh, yeah, I see. So that's not going to do it.
which I don't think is going to do it.
Okay, so the Wayward Servant's gone.
One of the tokens is gone. Derek at a extremely precarious 1. We'll see if 1 is not 0 or if 1 is in fact 0. Looks like Chord of Calling the draw for turn. Oh, and I lied. Derek's got many other cards in hand. We just can only see about half of them. But Chord of Calling is definitely not going to do it. He doesn't even have triple green at the moment.
Right. These big green spells are doing Derek in.
Well, the Kogla I can buy. The Kogla that we've seen I can buy as he's got, 3 ways to cheat it in if we count the Heritage Druid as a way to make triple green off of a number of creatures.
Yeah, I guess I just kind of question the Kogla because it doesn't have trample. It also doesn't have reach.
But it's
or
a
anything,
removal spell.
and
It's a removal.
Sure,
and
if you can pay the green, which we haven't seen happen yet,
Well-
it just gets chunked and then it dies. Well, one of the ways it gets sacked immediately, right?
But I'm saying one of the things we haven't seen is the recursive nature of it. The way that if Derek cheats it in, he can then pick it up for only a single green, which he's not had any real issues finding here.
Right.
So it looks like we're 1 apiece in our finals match. Wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah. Nice, hot, blistering fast start from Christopher with the double Worthy Knight opener into the Wayward Servant.
Oh, is this? Oh, we're speed magic, Rondez. Are you ready? Vroom vroom.
All right, so we're getting into game 3 again. This is the Changeling Cube. The emblem is all creatures have all creature types in all zones. Let's start things off. We got an untapped, we got a fetch coming out for
Windswept
Derek
Heath
here.
for
Windswept
Derek.
Heath.
Dueling fetches as Marsh
Responding in
Flats.
kind, yeah.
Though it looks like Christopher's going to have a 1-drop coming in.
We've seen Crypt Breakers, some of the more powerful one jobs. We got Plains. It could be the Hada creature again.
Yeah, Thalia's Lancer was the one we've seen as well.
That's right.
Yeah, I hope it's the party.
Oh, Archpriest of Iona?
The War Falcon. We'll take it.
War Falcon, okay.
1 mana, 2/1 flyer, no drawbacks there.
Mm-hmm. Getting that in on turn 1. Pretty big deal. Do
Well,
we have
again,
flyers on the side of Derek?
Flyers have been key in most matches here. The Thopters from Hangerback kind of deciding one of our previous games that looked nigh unwinnable. Sacred Foundry going to be the fetch off the Heath for Derek. See, he's got green mana. What are you talking about?
Got her up the top of the deck. You knew it was there.
I sense it. Oh, and we haven't seen this. We have not seen this.
Amara?
This is Amara. Green-white 2/2. Whenever it becomes tapped, create a 1/1 white soldier creature token with lifelink. Another combo with my girl Magda.
That's right.
Come on.
Tap it, get the treasures in.
Oof. I want to draft this cube. I'll tell you what. There is Grafted Butcher. That's nice. That's pumping up the War Falcon to 3.
Oh, yeah.
So Derek's fallen to 16 here. And it's already like, okay, you got to answer this.
Yeah, it's 2 damage on turn 1 and then 3 on turn 2. So good start here.
Amara attacks.
Oh, okay.
Christopher, I think, correctly recognizes that I would like that off the battlefield.
It's got to go immediately. It is recursive, though. Keep that in mind. This can come back later on. 4 mana to sack a creature and artifact, and we know that Christopher's making lots of tokens in this deck, so there will be lots of fodder for Grafted Butcher to come back into play.
And now that the Butcher has found its way to the graveyard, it died. That's how it found its way there. There's a Walking Ballista. Oh! Okay, yeah, that's what I was going to say. I was like, I was shocked that Derek is not choosing to kill the Falcon prior to it getting +1/+1. Ooh!
Hangerback Walker.
Mana Tithe.
Oh!
Do you pay the 1?
First counterspell besides the fairy.
You cannot.
That's right.
Mana Tithe. Get got. No Hangerback.
Our second counterspell of the weekend. There are just not many. Oh, that's not true. There's at least a couple.
There's double Spell Stutter Sprite. That's the big
That's
one.
right, the fairy. And then I saw a flare of.
That makes sense.
Force of.
It feels like. Oh, I do think it's Force of Will.
Force of Will is in here. Yes, we have a Force of Will.
All right, and there is the Incandescent Soul Stoke, a way to cheat a creature, and I believe is that a no? Okay, I'm misseeing one of the cards.
Cards in hand for Derek. What's he going to cheat in next? Yeah, so this
I thought it was a. No, it doesn't matter what I thought it was. I don't think it's in the list.
Yeah,
so it's not there.
This Incandescent Soul Stoke, has spelled trouble for Derek's opponents in the past. We can't quite see all of what's in his hand just yet, but cheating something into play for the turn can be pretty powerful. We saw Kogla come in before. We've seen Trostani come in and completely swing the game by leaving some bodies behind.
Yeah, here's just Crypt Breaker and Godless Shrine. That is... I don't like it. I don't like Christopher's chances if that's his play. There is...
Paying for
what
something.
Do we have here?
The Bishop of...
Hatchery Sliver.
Hatchery Sliver.
Oh, I was like, we paid 4 mana for it. That's because it's replicated.
That's right.
Each Sliver spell you cast has Replicate. Every creature that he casts has Replicate? Hachi.
Okay.
Machi.
And look, he's got all those colors. Not quite triple green just yet for Kogla, or like what? Court of Calling is double green.
I mean, but they're both like, this is the sick thing about this card is that even if you answer one,
You got to get the other.
the effect, so it's just there. He just has this effect. Oh, we got Revel Arc? No, we have Knight, Errant of Eos. Convoked with one Crypt Breaker, Convoke. So we'll look at 6 cards and be able to find 2 1-drops, up to 2 1-drops if we want. There's the Hada Freeblade.
That's right.
All right, just 1. We'll take it. Not too bad. Gets to cast it this turn as well.
So this is going to grow with every creature that Christopher plays from here on out.
Going to start with the 1/2, but
we are tapped out this turn.
We're tapped out. There's a Soul Stoke online. Any creature can be replicated from Derek. There's Arid Mesa as a fetch. I think Derek... I think he's on top decking. He's on top deck mode at this point.
Be mindful for folks at home that the cards played from Incandescent Soul Stoke cannot be replicated. Is that right? Because they're not
Correct.
cast,
They're not being
cast.
played. That is correct. That's a good call. And there is a preeminent captain. How about 2? A card so nice, he made it twice. Yep. 2/2/2 first strikes. This 4/4 holding the ground currently for Christopher, but he is going to have to find some action and find it fast. Pass. That'll be all. Looks like probably just an end step or post blocks pre-damage draw with the Crypt Breaker. Though with Savage Stomp as the top deck, that's not going to be possible. Probably going to fire this off and kill the Crypt Breaker. Unless Derek is thinking, this knight, he's too big of a problem for me.
Preventing him from getting in for damage. The Crypt Breaker is card draw, but it's not really... I mean, he's going to get him 1 card this turn.
Oh, whoa. What?
Oh, did we target the knight?
I saw knight get pointed to. Because that would just be... Savage Stomp is a fight. It is +1/+1 counter and fight.
That's right.
So Preeminent Captain would be a 3/3, and then it would die to the knight. That doesn't seem great to me. So I'm going to hope that I just, in this sped up game, that I misspoke or missaw what was pointed to. Crypt Breaker is going to make a zombie. Discarding a land. We're going to tap. Oh, 2 planes in hand.
Leaving himself open for damage.
Says Savage Stomp resolves. So, what am I missing? Oh! What I'm missing is Soul Stoke. Is giving all the elementals +1/+1.
Right.
That's what I'm
It's
missing.
got an Anthem effect. We've focused so much on the
I know, yeah.
the activated ability.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is a huge deal, and it has been.
So that's 9 damage coming in.
Yeah, well tapped out, going down from 17 to 8.
Derek is hellbent. Christopher is not, though he might as well be, as he has 2 planes in hand. Those planes can be turned into zombies thanks to the Crypt Breaker, but that is a far cry from being what he's going to need to deal with the board of 3/3s. He's got to start with the Soul Stoke answer if he can. There's an Amru Scout. That's the Rebel Searcher. Going to pump up the Hada to a 2/3. Threatening to become a 3/4 if Crypt Breaker is activated this turn. So that could stand to answer or stand to possibly fend off these 3/3s that Derek has. Derek sending in with Sliver Copy and the Preeminent Captain, not cheating in anything. Christopher's going to activate Make a Zombie, pump up the Free Blade to a 3/4, and single block the first striker and double block the Sliver. And Christopher sort of has to do this, and I have to imagine that Derek saw this coming, and I am surprised to see that work out in Christopher's favor. That's a pretty big swing. Now, it's not over, but Christopher definitely has the upper hand on board with this card advantage engine. That's a worthy night. That's an Amru Scout. That's the first Rebel Search we're going to see.
Oh, yeah.
Go tutor up any 3-drop you want.
It's never been able to last a turn cycle before.
There's a Wayward Servant.
Oh, with Worthy Knight in play, this is dangerous.
Yep. Yes, it is.
Christopher's going to be able to pull himself right back in the game. As you can see on the left-hand side of your screen, whenever a creature ETBs, Christopher will gain 1 life. His opponent will lose 1 life. And so by casting spells, He's able to gum up the board with blockers and do Orzhov things. Slowly pull away from the opponent. This is a tight game 3.
Okay. Spell Queller was the draw for Derek.
Oh.
So Worthy Knight is going to get trapped. And the keyword of the day is flying.
It sure is. 3 turns. What?
That's
3 turns?
two
and it's
turns.
over.
It's a
because it's got
3/4.
pumped. That's right. 2-turn clock. Look, there it is. Flash. So as soon as they pass, he's able to get the damage in. 1 more turn and it's a wrap. You need removal now.
Well, the good news for Christopher is that
Gain some life.
Scout at least is going to search up a creature, which will trigger Wayward Servant.
Right.
So that is at least
1
going to
more
buffer
turn.
him to 4.
Right.
We're going to have a replicated. Oh gosh, I'm forgetting his name. That's the symbiote. Heritage Druid, my bad. The 1/1
That's
going
right.
to get reflected there. The other Worthy Knight as the top deck. Oh no, not the top deck. The search off the Scout. And in goes the Free Blade. That's a 6/7. Okay.
Free Blade's been working out.
For sure.
Real strong at this stage of the game. Again, 1 more turn. Christopher will be able to survive here thanks to the Spell Queller only having 3 power and him gaining 1 life off of the Wayward Servant with a creature entering the battlefield.
This is a little bit of life neutral behavior here for Christopher as he's gonna, or I guess he hasn't tapped to draw yet. He's just discarding to make a zombie.
That's right, to get the Wayward Servant
I
ETB
think this
again.
board state's pretty clear. We probably don't need to explain anything, right?
Yeah, we're just going to keep just rinse and repeat, just trying to tread water here, stay above water.
Okay, Fleece Mane Lion. What does that do? You don't actually really want to pick anything up, and Christopher has to gain 2 life, which he will, because Lion comes in and Worthy Knight will trigger. So 2 creatures are coming in. He'll be up to 4 before falling back to 1 with the Spell Queller. You know, I know that Tim said that 7 mana Angel was the best pack 1 pick 1. I feel like it's Path to Exile. Like, removal seems to be the key.
Because it's such a hot commodity. There's so little of it. There's so little of it.
For sure.
Instant speed at 1 mana at that, like it's yeah.
And we're seeing Grafted Butcher being eyed in the graveyard as a possible recursive threat here. 3 and a black, sack an artifact or creature,
Yeah.
bring it back, and then everything has menace.
Big
and
deal.
So Christopher may be thinking, I'm not actually concerned with you getting to your next turn. I think you might be dead before then.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we are tapping 4. We're going to tutor for a creature. Oh, we're getting Archpriest. Got another flyer coming in. This flyer is, of course, as you know, going to trigger the Wayward Servant, gain some life. It's also able to block the Spell Queller if need be.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, that's only when it swings, right? Is that only a 10-act trigger? Sorry.
Yeah, only at the beginning of combat on your turn.
Right. It's an attack trigger, so not able to defend with it there, but I mean the life gain is what the most important part of this play here.
Well, but is this Freeblade going to be in the air this turn?
Oh, it should be. That's right.
Beginning of combat on your turn, if you have a full party, boy howdy does Christopher Walter have a full party.
Yeah.
It's party time, he said.
Here it is.
And there's a 10 power flyer, plus I think this is game.
Yeah, Spell Queller has to block.
Ooh.
What do we have?
What
That's
a
it.
swing. There it is.
Wow.
And Christopher Walter is your Changeling Cube champion.
Wow. I mean, just a really beautiful draft, leaning into the tokens with such a low curve. And we saw it play out time and time again with those single black or black and white creatures, the Wayward Servant, the Crypt Breaker, the Worthy Knight. I mean, just the staying power that this deck list had. He was really able to grind his opponents out, even when he was on the edge of losing the game, Ethan.
Well, that was, I think, now 2 games we saw that I was basically like, let's put a bow on it. Let's wrap it up. It's over. And he went, actually, turn him sideways, you're dead.
Take your time.
Yeah, he's like, let me just count this out. What are you at? 13? You're dead.
Right.
And that's a pretty powerful spot to be in. A really, really impressive draft.
Yeah, really powerful stuff. Really powerful stuff. So, guys, we're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, we got another matchup with Dana. We're determining her opponent here shortly. And stay tuned. We'll see you again shortly.